Shalom and welcome to another edition as we reminisce, as we count down to our 125th anniversary. I'm with two very dear and special friends and guests, Zell Lewis and Sharon Jubelirer. We'll be talking a little bit about B'nai Jacob. As we know, we are counting down for our 125th anniversary, which will take place on September 27th through the 29th, and we hope you'll join us. But this has been just a walk down memory lane with many of our special friends. So I guess I just want to start with both of you. What are your earliest memories of B'nai Jacob, Sal?
Well, we used to come down from Montgomery for the high holidays, and we never came down at other times. But we stayed at the Daniel Boone Hotel so that we could take advantage of all the services. And then we would go back home and wait until the next holiday. But my mother used to come down once a week to get her kosher meats and chicken.
Oh, wow. How far of a drive was it?
25 miles.
And that was before the highway.
Yeah, old highway, yeah. So it took 45 minutes to an hour at least, yeah. But anyway, we all made it through. And I would say that we enjoyed the synagogue very much, although it was the old synagogue that we had my earliest remembrances. And the men sat downstairs and the women sat upstairs. And as a teenager, it was a little difficult for me. But anyway, it was very nice. And I met my husband there at the old synagogue.
Oh, what was the occasion?
Well, he was home from service. He had been a prisoner of war for 9 months in Germany. And he had just gotten home. And they sent him to the closest hospital, which was called Ashford General Hospital, was really the Greenbrier.
Oh, wow.
So he was stationed at the Greenbrier when I met him.
And you got married here?
We got married at the Daniel Boone Hotel because the new synagogue wasn't open then. Oh, wow. They were still building it, I think.
I guess the old synagogue would not work for a wedding at those.
It wasn't very conducive. And so we lived in Morgantown for a year and then moved back here. And Sanford was very active in the synagogue, I think, from there on in.
That's great. How about you, Sharon? What's your earliest memories?
Well, many relatives. The synagogue's always been very important to my family. My mother's grandparents, my great-grandparents, arrived in Charleston in the late 1800s, and my great-grandfather was one of the founders of the congregation. My mother's parents got married in Charleston January 1st, 1901.
Wow.
Yeah. And then in 1934, my father's family moved here for a few years because my grandfather was a cantor for the synagogue. And then my sisters and I were born here. We went to Hebrew school 4 days a week. And then on Friday we had to get ready for Shabbos. We always had chores. And then there was Sunday school, and there was always an assembly at Sunday school, and Rabbi Cooper would call on one person a week to recite the Via Haftarah by heart. And it was always, a big deal if you were called on. And there was a kindergarten where the small sanctuary is, and I remember as a child, Cantor Reese would come in and sing songs with us. And then there was the balcony overlooking the gym, and on the high holidays, to see the Torah procession on Yom Kippur from there, it was really beautiful. The junior congregation also met in the balcony. So there were a lot of things going on.
When they moved the kindergarten, I guess they used that, it became the chapel.
Chapel, and they moved it downstairs, yeah.
See, our memories, of course, are a much more recent vintage, I guess, but I was blessed to know, of course, your family, especially your husband, Sanford, and I remember, of course, your parents, and thinking of the chapel, how many times Sanford used to come to services, especially with the Mountaineers. we started a bet. I guess every time the Mountaineers won on Saturday, I'd see them on Mondays and Thursdays. And I was rooting for the Mountaineers, and of course your dad always led the services so beautifully. My memories are, I guess that's why B'nai Jacob means so much. What does B'nai Jacob mean to you, both? I guess we'll start with Zell.
Well, it's just been a wonderful place for me to come and worship and feel the warmth of everybody. Charleston, I think, was a wonderful place to grow up and to be here.
Sure. It's extended family for me now that most of my relatives are gone, and until the recent scares, I always felt very safe here, and now I feel safe again with the new security system. And Sanford and I were second cousins. Our mothers were first cousins, and our grandmothers were sisters.
That's a nice little information. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I should have realized that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of history. Yeah.
Well, you recall the extended family. I've always felt that B'nai Jacob and Charleston is like an extended family. Mm-hmm. And I know you say how the warm feelings, that's what I felt when I first came to Charleston. I know so many people feel that.
Our 3 daughters were married here.
Oh, wow.
Rabbi Cooper married the oldest one, Lynn, and Rabbi Landau married the second and third one, Sally and
A lot
Peggy.
of generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course you married Steve and me.
Yeah, that was my first wedding. I did it with Rabbi Kohler.
Right. Yeah, it was an intermarriage.
That's right. In those days, that would have been considered an intermarriage. Mm-hmm. A member from the temple and a member from the synagogue. And both communities and congregations benefited.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Well, we could talk so much more, but I know you're looking forward to 125th. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you both for just being a part of our community. I hope you'll join them and welcome the 125th anniversary of our synagogue. It's going to be a very special weekend. It'll start on Friday evening, the 27th, with the special Shabbat dinners. If you come, we'll make sure that you find a family or you spend time here at the synagogue for a Friday night dinner with us. On Saturday morning, we'll have a very special Shabbat service where you see how the congregation is both remaining very traditional, but at the same time also becoming part of the modern movements of Judaism as well. That will be followed by a wonderful Kiddush. Saturday night will be a banquet at the Marriott. Sunday, we have lots of activities, including a brunch in the morning. Sunday evening, we invite you to stay for Rosh Hashanah and be with us and be home for the holidays on Rosh Hashanah. And we hope you'll enjoy and ring in the new year as we celebrate our 125th anniversary. On behalf of Zell and Sharon, thank you for listening. And whether it was in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening, Shalom.